We have covered the work of Sláva Václav Jelínek in episodes 484 and 521. Today we will cover his The Monsters of Dr. Garga, a book so rare it is almost impossible to find. The story begins in a small cafe visited by minor official Jan Wimarski and his wife Klara. Today she is nervous for some reason and keeps insisting they go home already. When they leave, Klara tells her husband about a strange man with green eyes who kept staring at her the entire time they were at the cafe. He even seems to have followed them home, but who vanishes quickly once Jan tries to confront him. At home, the two read about the upcoming execution of the bestial murderer Kvala, who murdered his own parents with an axe, before being reminded of Jakub Wimarski, Jan's eccentric recluse millionaire uncle. Jan, his universal heir, had not seen him for years, and Klara says he should go check on him. Jan makes his way to his uncle's villa and finds him on the floor unconscious, with a huge deformed amphibian monstrosity towering over him, but easily scared off by the young man's approach. Jan goes to get a doctor, but by the time they get back his uncle is fine, and accuses Jan of having snuck up on him to scare him to death and disinherits him. Returning home dejected, his wife tells him the man from the cafe keeps lurking outside their house. So Jan checks the license plates of the car and it turns out the car belongs to his uncle. Returning to the villa, he sees the same amphibian monstrosity wandering the halls, before his uncle tries to bribe Jan to stay away. The next day, Jan's uncle comes unexpectedly for a visit, and explains Jan is still his sole heir, but that the old man is entangled with the most horrid devil of a man, who utterly controls him, but cannot say more. Some time passes and the strange man, Dr. Garga, the same man who controls Jan's uncle and who had been following Klara, comes to Klara's apartment to make her an offer. To let him impregnate her with the seed of a hanged murderer to create an Alraune creature like in the novel by Hans-Heinz Evers, for the sake of science. She refuses, but then Jan is lured away to his uncle's house and bound by Dr. Garga and his 3 amphibian monstrosities. 3 failed Alraune experiments born of street women, and fanatically devoted to their creator. Dr. Garga plans to murder Jan to be able to abduct Klara, but just as he is about to burn out Jan's eyes with a cigar, his uncle breaks the hypnotic spell Dr. Garga put him under and they tie him up. His uncle then tells Jan why he was shielding Garga despite being a man who escaped from an insane asylum. Garga promised to create a perfect woman to love and care for the old man in his old age. He even still wants to trust the doctor's promise after double-crossing him and tying him up. And Jan lets him, even saying the attempted murderer and mad scientist isn't dangerous anymore. So of course Garga murders the old man and pins it on Jan. And while Jan is in prison, Garga goes and kidnaps Klara, but not before stealing Kvala's body from the morgue after his execution. He is about to artificially impregnate the bound and unconscious Klara when the police shows up and he has to run for it. And once she is home, Klara plans ways in which to kill herself, as she just assumes a potential pregnancy would be impossible to terminate because it would surely kill her anyway because reasons, and she at no point makes sure she's even pregnant at all. So when Garga comes to squeeze money out of Jan's inheritance in exchange for helping Klara, he just says she was never pregnant, takes the money and leaves. Then they catch him in Dresden rather easily. The mad scientist angle is interesting, but one wishes one saw more of it, especially the titular monsters who barely show up in the book at all.